Have you ever logged on to the Quest store, excited to find your next mind-blowing VR game, only to end up frustrated by all the junk you have to sift through? You're not alone. It used to be so much easier to find a great game, but now it feels like every time you search, you're wading through a sea of low-quality knockoffs and copycats. Today I'm going to be talking about why finding good games on the Quest store has become such a pain and what's really going on behind the scenes in the MetaQuest store. Before Gorilla Tag took the VR world by storm, there was Echo Arena, now called Echo VR, a groundbreaking title that, along with its single-player counterpart, Lone Echo, redefined how players moved in virtual reality. Echo VR was one of the first major games to build its entire movement system around the player's arm movements. Unlike most VR games that rely on thumbsticks to let players glide around as if they were walking, the Echo games introduced a radical new concept: no control over your feet. Instead, players found themselves floating in a zero-gravity environment, using only their hands to push and pull themselves through space. This innovative approach to movement set Echo VR apart from its peers. While other early VR games experimented with arm-based movement, Echo VR did a lot of heavy lifting to popularize this novel locomotion concept. The zero-G environments and arm-driven movement weren't just a gimmick. They became the core of what made Echo games so immersive and engaging. This arm-based locomotion added physicality to VR gaming that thumbstick movement couldn't replicate. It brought a sense of presence and embodiment, making players feel more connected to the virtual world. And then came Gorilla Tag, which started as a passion project by a single developer, Kirstel Smith, better known as Lemming VR. Smith was already well known in the VR community, particularly in the esports scene of Echo Arena. But when Meta decided to shut down its servers, Smith channeled his energy into creating something new: Gorilla Tag. Working on the game in his spare time, Smith built Gorilla Tag with a simple concept. Players take on a role of a legless gorilla moving around a jungle environment by pulling themselves with their arms using VR controllers. It was an instinctive game of tag. The graphics were simple, so it can run better on a mobile device like the Quest headset, but the gameplay mechanics was just so simple, intuitive, and raw, engaging players that made it a hit. Smith launched Gorilla Tag on App Lab on February 2021, and it became the most popular that it officially debuted on the MetaQuest store on 2022. It also found a home on Steam, expanding its reach to even more players. What started as a modest project quickly grew into a phenomenon. Gorilla Tag's social multiplayer gameplay struck a chord with players, particularly young people who found the game addictive and endlessly entertaining. The numbers speak for themselves. 10 million people have played Gorilla Tag. On average, play sessions last near 60 minutes, double the time of any other VR game. And on any given day, there are more than 90,000 concurrent players joining the game simultaneously. Gorilla Tag didn't just become a game. It became a third place, a virtual hangout spot where people could come together, have fun, build communities. This social aspect played a huge role in its spread and its success. On social media, the game has a massive following with over 350,000 members on its Discord server and more than 10 billion views on TikTok. You can pretty much compare this game as the Fortnite of VR. The game's success allowed Smith's studio, Another Axiom, to grow from a one-person operation to a team of over 100 people. They now work religiously to update Gorilla Tag every couple of weeks, introducing new features like swimming, zip lines, and climbing ropes to keep the gameplay fresh and engaging. By the way, it's free to play on the MetaQuest store, so that also means, you got it, microtransactions, baby. This consistent evolution has kept the community strong and the player base is growing. But for the rest of the VR community, the dilemma is that we might lose everything. Basically, when the Quest launched in May 2019, the only way developers could release their apps was through the Quest Store, now known as the Horizon Store. Meta maintains strict quality controls, ensuring that only polished, high-quality VR experiences made it to the platform. For developers working on experimental VR apps, or those still in development phase, the only option was to release their work on SideQuest, a side-loading platform where users could access apps not officially approved by Meta. This strict separation between high-quality, vetted apps and an experimental or in-progress project kept the Quest Store curated and focused, making it easier for gamers to find polished, enjoyable experiences. But as VR grew, so did the demand for more diverse content, including games and apps that might not be ready for prime time. In February 2021, Meta responded by launching the App Lab, a separate platform designed to bridge the gap between the Quest Store and SideQuest. App Lab allowed developers to publish their apps without going through the rigorous vetting process of the main store. However, Meta kept the two stores strictly separate. To find an App Lab app, you had to visit third-party sites or know the exact name of the app to search for it in the Horizon Store. This separation helped maintain the quality and integrity of the Quest Store while still giving developers a place to showcase their work. But now, things are changing. Meta has begun to blur the lines between the Horizon Store and App Lab, allowing lower quality or experimental apps to appear alongside fully vetted titles. This shift is part of Meta's broader strategy to make the Horizon Store more accessible to a wider range of developers. However, it also means that the strict quality controls that once defined the Quest Store are beginning to erode. As of September 2024, Meta has fully integrated the App Lab into the Horizon Store, effectively abandoning the separate platform. While this move could democratize VR content, making it easier for developers to get their work in front of users, it also risks flooding the store with low-quality apps and games. There are probably over 100 Gorilla Tag clones in Quest right now, probably more than that. And I'm not talking about the ones that took the movement mechanics of Gorilla Tag and added something unique and new to it. No, I'm talking about actual knockoffs where people took the source code that the Gorilla Tag dev published on GitHub, slightly altered the existing assets, and then published it by a different name. Now look, if you're one of these people, I'm not trying to stifle your creative spirit. A lot of you probably just think that Gorilla Tag is really cool and fun that you wanted to make a fan game and share it with your friends. For a lot of you, Gorilla Tag is the reason you bought a VR headset in the first place. And I think it's awesome that more people are learning to code and learning how to make games because of that. I'm one of those people. And I've actually published a game that uses Gorilla Tag movement, but I made it my own, adding weapons and combat with my own art style and gameplay, so that I actually share a complete singular experience to my customers. Quick plug, RILLA Shotgun, now available in the official Quest Store. But for VR gamers who just want to find good, polished experiences, this could make navigating the store more frustrating, as they'll have to sift through a growing number of experimental and incomplete projects to find the hidden gems. Have you noticed this change too? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experience and any tips you have for finding the best games in the store. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give a thumbs up, subscribe for more VR content, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update.